The James Show Podcast.
Hey there, fellow Texans. Welcome back to The James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. I know. Good to see you, too. Stop it now. We got to get back to the news. Let's go to another plagiarism story. This was the youngest black professor in Cambridge history. Busted on a plagiarism scandal. This happens a lot. Remember when Joe Biden got busted for plagiarism like 10 times back in the day? And the Harvard president last year, or maybe year before last, turned out she had plagiarized most of her work back in the day. Well, it seems like to be another one.
I'm Professor of Sociology of Education at the University of Cambridge.
3 years ago, Jason Arday became the youngest ever black professor appointed at Cambridge University, an 800-year-old institution.
Professor Jason Arday joins us now.
He was interviewed about the achievement on CBS News.
If I'm being absolutely candid and honest, not many teachers at school had any belief in me.
Now Arday has fallen from grace, accused of plagiarizing some of his academic writing and lying about claims he ran 600 miles in 6 days to raise money for charity. The scandal's front page news here in the UK.
Hang on, stop it. 600 miles in 6 days. Come on, man. Come on. This is Cambridge. This is where, like, smart people are supposed to go get even smarter under the tutelage of the smartest. And you people are like, oh, he ran 600 miles in 6 days. Well, let's hire him. You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you read that and didn't go, well, I don't think that's real. Call me skeptical. Call me racist. But I don't think that's real. Did I hear? Did your ears deceive you?
600 miles in 6 days to raise money.
What? Someone fell for that? Someone at a college faculty in the hiring process fell for that?
Lying about claims he ran 600 miles in 6 days to raise money for charity.
Dude, I don't think I've run 600 miles in my life.
Scandal's front page news here in the UK, and the former professor of sociology of education has now resigned, saying in a statement that it should not be mistaken for an acceptance of the narratives that have surrounded him. Cambridge University says it's launched an investigation. There are now questions about Arday's autobiography, scheduled to be published this month.
Yeah, he said he hit 17 three-pointers in a row, and you're in Kim Jong-un territory, you know, when he's like, Kim Jong-un hit 18 holes in one in a row on a golf course. It's like not even believable. And it's worse than the audio made it sound. Some of the parts of his resume say like, well, I attended this university during this time for this internship or for this fellowship or whatever. They actually finally went and followed up. Some of the people in the media went and followed up, and the people on his resume were like, we have no record of him ever going to school here or working here or in a contract with us or in a grant or in a research or even stop by and use the water fountain. We have no record of this dude being associated with this in any way. So the takeaway isn't that these people are dumb. It's that these people are so desperate to fulfill the fantasies of their worldview, their narrative, that they will overlook all of these just blindingly obvious shortcomings and well, really questionable facts on the guy's resume. You got to look past a whole lot to act like, well, geez, I told you this was an evil, racist, bigoted Western civilization. Look at this young black man here. He's probably one of thousands who have been overlooked just because of just terrible, racist white people, and we've got to fix that injustice. No, the real injustice is there was someone who was probably older and probably of lighter pigment who deserved that job more than he did, and you screwed them over, falling for the lies. That's what really happened. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Now, back here on the local front here, I'm trying to make some sense in this new worldview that is the ascendant, if not the dominant faction of the entire Team Blue Democrat Party machine. And some of it just doesn't make sense. I think I might start a new segment on the James Show called Wisdom from the Nose Ring. And I don't mean nose ring like you got the little stud up there. The one that makes you look like a bull, the septum piercing. I think I'm just going to start giving you random wisdom from people with the bull ring in their nose. Here's a good example. This looks like a nice young lady, probably 20, maybe 25, sort of looks college age. She's cute. She's not visibly repulsive. She's not wildly overweight. She has nice hair. She's wearing nice clothes. She's wearing makeup. She looks decent. She does have the bull ring, the septum piercing, and the stuff that comes out of her mouth. I mean, I thought about this for an hour, and it still doesn't make any sense. Give me a call if this makes sense to you.
Before I became Mexican, I was gay. I know that may be kind of hard for some people to hear, but honestly, being gay is a pipeline to becoming Mexican. A lot of people may already know this. Some of you may not know this, especially if you're not Mexican. We do go through this conversion where it's kind of a sort of metamorphosis where we're normal, then we're gay, then we're Mexican.
What?
And I just wanted to say I don't regret it. I'm very proud of my choice and my decision. I think if I had to go back and change anything, I wouldn't change a thing. And I'm just here to advocate for all the gay Mexicans or the former gays that are now Mexican. So thank you for listening, and have a great day, and thank you so much.
The Mexican to gay pipeline. Is that behind Taco Bell? Is that where that is? I missed that one. Does that make sense to anybody? Because she recorded that. And she's like, yeah, that's 47 seconds of genius. Let me go ahead and post that for all the world to see and scrutinize. I don't know. I guess I got a lot more growing up to do, y'all. There's a restaurant in Dallas called Maroma. I've never been there, but Dallas Express did a write-up on them last year. It was glowing. Kind of want to go. Now I feel like going just so I can support them a little bit. We have a situation, and the situation is this. It's a busy day. It's August 9th, so just 3 days ago this was posted. And it's a busy day. And some people who were sitting by the bathroom started smelling weed. And the smell was so significant, so substantial, that the guests who were sitting by the bathroom asked if they could move to another area. And so the witnesses and people who saw what was going on told the manager, yeah, we're pretty sure it was that table over there. And so the manager went over, sniffed the bathroom. Good God, it reeked of weed. It smells like Willie Nelson's birthday party over there. And so they didn't go over and kick out the party that's accused of smoking the weed. They just said, listen, we're going to cut you off from alcohol sales. And they're like, what for? Well, it's reported that you guys are smoking weed in the bathroom. And we, knowing that, we're really not allowed to continue selling you alcohol because Texas law prohibits selling alcohol to an intoxicated person. Now, they didn't go into this level of detail, but this is the thought process behind the manager. And I'll play you the viral video here. But I've worked in bars. I've worked in restaurants. The TABC tells you got to cut off people if they appear intoxicated. If they're already drunk, you can't serve them. If they're on some other intoxicant, you can't serve them. If they're irate, like if they're not calm, you're not allowed to serve them. So here now, finally, is the exchange. And I want to thank them for not cussing, because this was posted by Andrea Chantel. She posted this video on August 9th. This was just part of the conversation. While the four people are sitting at the booth, the manager comes up. And this is the exchange. Again, thank you so much for not cussing. That makes my job easier, but here it is.
So you're saying you can't serve us because of why?
I can't smell you. I can't serve you because I smelled it when.
Do you smoke?
Came into the
Do you smoke? Do you smoke? I don't smoke.
I can only go off of.
You're going off of what? You're going off of what? You're going off of what's your name? What's your name? Tell me your name. And you're discriminating.
I'm not.
We do not smoke. No one here smokes. So now you can't serve us because we smell like smoke?
I'm coming to you calmly and telling you that I can't serve because I can smell marijuana and I won't be serving another alcohol beverage. Yes.
Okay.
What is the discount?
We don't smoke.
Okay, so the words on the video, the caption that she put on the video, very inflammatory here. Dallas, Texas is segregated. Now, you know what? Stop it. You got to play the race card here. 17 million people have seen this video. 71,000 comments on this video. Really? So you're telling me that there's random people in a restaurant who, not even knowing you, will lie about you and where the marijuana smell is coming from just to get you kicked out of a restaurant? Based on what? Based on anti-black, black antipathy? Anti-black racism? Really? So they would rather whoever's really smoking weed in the restaurant to get away with it? Or maybe they wouldn't smoke weed on the restaurant and they just blamed it on the black people because white people are so evil. If you're worried about the mistreatment of black people, getting kicked out of a restaurant for burning a heater in the handicap stall, that's nothing compared to the shootings and the stabbings and the rapings and the robbings and the muggings and the arson and the beatings and the domestic violence and the abuse that is happening within your own community. Like, if this isn't your biggest problem, this isn't in the top 10 of your problems, this isn't in the top 100 of your problems, but look how much attention it gets. Look at how much these people are falling all over themselves to comment on this and highlight this and say, see, we sure do have a problem with hateful white people, and I'm tired of it. This doesn't help white people. This doesn't help black people. This doesn't help anybody. This doesn't bring us together. This doesn't bring about peace. You know what? Even if you are falsely accused, would this be your reaction? Do you smoke? Do you smoke? She's asking the other three people at the booth, and they're all saying no. Oh, what are they going to do? Just fess up and be like, yeah, doing drugs in the bathroom. You got us. If someone really is just racist and hateful, would you have to make a stretch like this? I mean, she's not coming over here saying, dropping N-bombs, kicking them out. They let you in the first place. They served you in the first place. They were polite to you in the first place. Now you're going to say that they're racist when they kick you out? This is so sad and pathetic and lame. The efforts to keep racism or the fantasy of racism alive in modern day America. When you and I both know that of all the problems in America, racism isn't in the top 100. But I love reading the comments here because the comments show the tribalism. The same people that went and donated $600,000 to Carmelo Anthony's defense team, which that didn't go to defense at all, so he could get away with murdering a white kid. Oh, they're in the comment section over here. Nikisha says, how does she know it wasn't the people next to y'all? Because they watched him walk out of the bathroom. In fact, we're told that the women went into the men's bathroom specifically so they could share together. And look, some of these are interesting. Some of them say you should sue. You should sue who for what? You should sue this restaurant for racism? What are you supposed to do? Are you just not allowed to kick a black person out of your restaurant for any reason if you're a white person? Because you'll be accused of racism no matter what. And the ugly part is for the little bit of racism that is in America. I'm not saying it's 100% gone. All these false accusations are the boy crying wolf. And when real racism does show up, we're all going to be skeptical. One day, Jussie Smollett really is going to get beat up. One day, there really is going to be some angry white person that's drawing swastikas all over the place, and it's not a hoax. And it's going to be really hard to believe them because of all the trifling, lame, weak sauce accusations that have been thrown around your entire life. And the comment section will break your heart. Norma says this is straight up racism. Ashley says, I can confirm this is what it's like being black in Dallas. Ocean Girl, is she saying she smells like weed and won't serve you alcohol or won't serve you at all? All right. A bunch of people are asking to sue. Sue for what? Hey, I demand the right to smoke weed in your bathroom without being kicked out. Oprah's on The View, is going to be nothing but brain surgery, rocket science, and other assorted genius takes. She's getting dragged through the mud for her comments on obesity. I think I understand what she's saying. And even though Oprah is that slanders this country and white people and our culture and Western civilization and whatnot, she's not a completely bad person. In fact, Oprah kind of seems like a pretty nice person. If not for her politics, you would probably enjoy hanging out with her for an evening at the bar. But let me see how this runs by you. I'll give you my take and you see if this matches up with you, because she's getting ripped for saying overeating doesn't cause obesity. Obesity causes overeating. And while it's a sloppy way to put it, I think I can explain this one.
All these years, I thought I was overeating. I was standing there with all the food noise, what I ate, what I should eat, how many calories was that, how long was it going to take. I thought that was because of me and my fault. Yeah. Now I understand that if you carry the obesity gene, if that is what you have, that is what makes you overeat. You don't overeat and become obese. Right. Obesity causes you to overeat. Right. Obesity causes you to have all of that food noise. And what the GLP-1s have done for me, and I know a number of other people, is to quiet that noise.
Yeah. I think there is probably...
All right, so let's break that down. She thinks that there's a gene that causes obesity. Now, I don't think that she means if you have this gene, you're going to be fat no matter what. I don't think anybody thinks that. But what it does is, if you were able to listen to the full segment, there's a gene that makes you think about food more, that makes you crave food more, that makes you compelled or interested in food more. Now, that is totally believable because you and your siblings, even though you have a similar genetic makeup, you guys have totally different interests. Some of you are overeaters, some of you aren't. Some of you are really sporty, some of you aren't. Some of you are very musically inclined. Some of you are more violent. Some of you are more pacifist. Some of you cry a lot. Some of you are very stoic. So I get that. And I get it that sometimes people have a metabolism that just doesn't process food efficiently so they can eat all they want and still not get fat. And that's not fair, and that's why they're skinny. But I feel the Oprah worldview goes too far because there is sort of comfort in jettisoning your personal responsibility for your size and just being able to say, oh, it's my genes. Yes, there's nothing wrong with me and my lack of discipline and controlling how much food and calories I put into my face versus how much I move. Because that's a real hard thing for a narcissist to admit. Now, Oprah very well may be a narcissist or partial on the narcissist spectrum of some sort. And most Hollywood showbiz people are. Most talk radio show hosts are. I have some narcissism that flares up every once in a while. Rightfully so. Makes me a better talk show host. But the inability of self-criticism shows up in instances like this because if Oprah admits that, yeah, she may be a little more interested in food, genetically speaking, that sugar may taste a little bit better for her, or her brain waves may be a little more attuned to seeking out food and resources. She still has to be able to look around at some of her neighbors and realize some of them probably have the same gene or at least similar issues, but they have better discipline. For the people that are for real in shape, for the people that watched their diet, they cram protein, they avoid sugar, they do both heavy lifting and they do cardio. A narcissist has a hard time looking at that and saying, well, I'm fat and they're beautiful because they have better discipline than me. They have better work habits than me. They have better eating habits than me. They work harder than me. I am fat and they are skinny because I am lazy and I like to stuff my face and I eat with a shovel. Now, I don't expect a whole lot of people to be that brutally honest with themselves. But this whole genetic excuse for obesity, that's what it is. It is the offlifting of personal responsibility. And that's just something you see over and over on Team Blue. When you talk about like the difference in socioeconomic attainment between different races, it's really hard for some people to say, well, maybe this other group of people is behaving better. Maybe they're better disciplined. Maybe they're better at family formation. Maybe they study more. Maybe they work harder. Maybe they work more hours. Maybe they develop more skills. Maybe they spend less time in these other not helpful behaviors, like recreationally using drugs or getting caught up in gang fights or skipping school or not raising your kids. The ability of self-criticism is crucial, though, if you ever want to fix yourself. Now, Oprah gets a break. She didn't have to fix herself. GLP-1s came along and she could just take a shot and that whole thing goes by the wayside. But the part that I am partial to is I can understand how some people can eat the same amount of food as other people and gain more weight than other people. But that doesn't mean anything is flawed with you if you're the weight gainer. That means actually your metabolism's really efficient. Just because somebody else's body can't produce food and process it into fat as fast as you can, that's actually a shortcoming with them. Evolutionarily speaking, that is not a good metabolism to have if you want to, last through famines and starving and winters and ice ages. But I just felt like that really tied together the whole politics. No. You're not doing something wrong. This is a legacy of slavery. Or no. You're not in the boardroom in Fortune 500 companies, not because of your lack of educational attainment or your abilities. It's because of systemic racism, or it's because of misogyny, or it's because of Christian bigotry. Just everything but personal responsibility. And I feel like this is kind of part of it too. But I get what she was saying. If you have that gene, if you have that worldview, if you have that disposition, that's what's going to cause you to overeat. If you're overeating to cure your depression, if you're overeating to cure some sort of, hole in your soul, it's not the fat that's causing you to eat. It's the eating that's causing you to get fat. I think I understand about half of that. But I have a few fun things I want to cram into this last segment here. And a lot of it is going to be sort of organized around our generation. First, Marco Rubio tried the keto diet. We were just talking about Oprah and dieting. He said it didn't work for him.
I did at one time, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I tried this thing called keto. You've heard of this? Yeah, keto. Okay? And you just eat all this protein. And so you go through this massive withdrawal from sugar and carbohydrates for the first 72 hours. It was a near psychotic event for me.
It's true.
If I did this in this job, I would be, Mr. President, we must bomb, Paraguay. And it's like, why? I don't know. I'm just really mad I haven't had any sugar. So the point is that you can't, it really is not I'm not against this diet. I'm not asking that we ban it. I encourage people to try it. I'm just saying it's not for everyone.
I don't think any diets are for me. I have this diet where I just run around and eat whatever I want. It's pretty nice. I mean, look, I do have some guardrails. I am aware, I have to avoid just pure sugar. So instead of having Dr. Pepper, I'll have a Dr. Pepper Zero. And that's about the extent of my dietary discipline. But I do work out primarily so I can eat like trash and I don't end up having the body shape of Grimace from the Happy Meal box. Because, I got to go home to Miss Parker. And if I get any uglier than I am right now, I can't even stand next to her. Hi, Miss Parker. I already look like Shrek standing next to her. I can't make it worse. But if you're about my age, I think you would appreciate this next lady, Kelly Mano. She makes great viral video content online, usually circling around the issues with my generation, Generation X. And she's really good at answering questions from other generations, sometimes boomers, but it's usually a millennial, Gen Z, or maybe an alpha who are asking questions. And she's sort of become our spokesman because if you're not familiar with Gen X, we just don't like to answer questions. We don't like a whole lot of attention. We don't bring it up. We don't answer surveys. We don't answer polls. We're not writing blogs and whatever about us. We're not trying to get any attention. We haven't had a Gen X president now, and we're not griping about it. In fact, if it goes from Trump to J.D. Vance, they're just going to go straight from the boomers to the millennials. We're not even going to have a Gen X president. We don't care. Just leave us the hell alone.
Is Gen X okay? No, seriously, are you guys okay?
What kind of stupid question is that? We're fine. We got 900 TV channels and Prozac. Our kids are grown or almost grown, and our parents are either dead or too old to threaten to kill us every day. I brought you into this world. I could take you out of it. Our boomer parents could turn anything violent. Hey, Dad, can I get a paper towel? I'll paper your towel. We didn't have anti-bullying campaigns. Our parents bullied us. If we got hurt, like really hurt, our parents were pissed. Our parents would leave us places all the time. They'd forget us at the store, and there's no way to get a hold of them. So you just have to sit there and hope they came back for you. The school had to take our pictures and fingerprint us in case we got kidnapped. We were like 30 years old when we were 12. Already smoking cigarettes, drinking our parents' liquor. We are older than Google. We spent 30 years taking a dump without a cell phone, and no one had to tell us not to eat laundry detergent. So yeah, I mean, we're okay. We're okay.
Comedian Derek Stroop wants to remind you how brutally awful our games were as kids in the 90s.
The games in the 90s were insane. It's because we didn't have internet yet. I mean, I can remember growing up, I'd ring people's doorbells and take off and jump in the ditch. It felt like drugs, y'all. I mean, I'd ring 3 or 4 doorbells. I'd be sitting in a ditch and I'd be like, I'm a gang member now. I got the whole subdivision upside down right now.
And then there's this crazy story that came out of a football practice where a snake was in a football helmet. Now, when I first heard this story, how could a guy put on a football helmet and not know there's a snake in there? Well, I saw finally a picture of what it looked like. And if you've ever seen the inside of a football helmet, there's a bunch of pads in there. Well, the snake had gotten up under the pads and was going in the little crevices between the pads and the helmet. So the guy never had the snake really touching his head directly. He could only kind of tell if the snake moved, he would feel it through the padding. So the snake wasn't touching his head. But the point still stands that some poor bastard had a venomous snake in his football helmet at football practice, and he wore it.
How about snake in the helmet? A 2-foot-long, highly venomous cottonmouth snake somehow slithered its way into an Arkansas high school football player's headpiece. You can see it here hiding behind the inner padding. But guys, the player practiced for an hour with it stuck up there before he started noticing the horrifying feeling around his head. This is a closer look. Apparently, one of the coaches spotted it when he brought in his helmet for an inspection during that practice. Eventually, school staff secured it in a tote bag until animal services came to take it away.
Look, I know there's the stereotype of the dumb jock, but I'm just imagining some big, dumb, hay-fed, corn-fed Arkansas boy going, Coach, I don't know what's wrong with my football helmet. It just keeps hissing at me, won't sit still. How do you not know? Also, something that I want you to think about. When you look at a chicken, not a live chicken, but a chicken that's been prepared to eat, one you buy at the grocery store, already has all the wings plucked off, already has the head chopped off. It's just ready for you to rotisserie. And you look at the wings. It's these little bitty arms compared to the rest of the animal, right? Well, doesn't that kind of look like a T-Rex with the tiny arms? And if that's the case, then why don't we just assume the T-Rex doesn't have tiny arms, but they have wings? But if a T-Rex had wings, wouldn't it then be a dragon?
I just think the whole theory is kind of dumb, and I'm going to use this whole chicken to prove my point, so stay with me for a minute. You would never look at a chicken in this state and assume that when it was alive, it looked like this, because this is anatomically ridiculous. We know that the chicken didn't have these little nubbies. There was obviously like a wing attached here at some point, because that would make sense. So why are we applying that same logic to the T-Rex? Do we really think that this massive apex predator was just running around with his little nubs? Like, y'all really looked at the T-Rex and couldn't think of anything else this animal could possibly be? No, just a giant reptile with his little nubs. Like, it's ridiculous. This doesn't make any sense. But you know what does make sense is this. This makes way more sense to me, so I need somebody to explain to me right now why a T-Rex is not a dragon. Okay, why is it that every animal in the zodiac is a real animal except for the dragon? Listen, that's a conspiracy. You sound so dumb right now. You sound dumb. You sound dumb with your little nubby arm theory. So we can have our differences of opinion, but I think you're wrong. That is so obviously a dragon. So if you want to keep your little nubby arm theory, you freaking go for it. I'm going to be in Whimsy World 100% believing in dragons.
Oh, great. I believe in dragons now. All right, that's going to do it for The James Show. Stick around. Mark Levin's coming up next. I'm James Parker. This has been The James Show on News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
The James Show Podcast.